Thy kingdom come,
thy
will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
It's gonna be a good one.
Alright, let's remember the order, please. Let's see what we got. Who's first?
Somebody else got it. You know what this is, right? Okay, I got a question. This how you go now. Okay, if you have a job and they require you to work on the Sabbath, what do you do? Do you walk away from your job and depend on the Lord, or what do you do? Do you keep it continue to work on the Sabbath as your job required, until the Lord, give you something else?
Alright. Let's go to Leviticus 23 first. Leviticus 23. It is a hard question.
Yeah, man. I'll be careful how I answer, brother. That's a tough one. You don't want to have nobody walking away and then on your line like, dude, you know that happened. Everybody's faith is different.
Alright. Leviticus 23. And verse 3. Go ahead.
6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
So, off rip. So, as we can see, you read back in Exodus 20 and here, so the Sabbath, it's a commandment. It's building the case here. It's the commandment on the seventh day, and thou shalt do no work, and this is in all your dwellings. And then, so that takes care of the land of activity, so on and so forth. I want to be wise when I answer this question. So I wanted to come off as, this is what you better do. So this might take a little this way, but we'll get it. Let's go to Psalms 19. Psalms 19 and verse 13, one verse here. Go ahead.
Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression.
So we talked about it earlier, so am I saying this applies to you? That's what I'm saying, or anybody, but we don't want to get in the mind frame of, the Lord understands my situation. Now you got people who are weak in the faith, and they might come in, and in that case, I'll say, bide your time and be wise on how you are to try to exit this job. But as much as I want to say leave the job, I don't have your kids are my kids. I don't know your situation, I don't know your household. So it's not the thing of you building your faith, but don't be building your faith for 12, 15 years. I'm gonna leave the job, I'm gonna leave the job. So it comes into the thing of, I think at that point now it's presumptuous sins. God knows my situation. I'm okay. I'm not saying it's you, but if I had to say something, I'm saying if you fresh, brand new in the word, and I'm saying up and just leave your job, I'm not gonna say that, but be diligent on trying to find something to accommodate your situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Daniel. That was a good example. Okay, let's go to Matthew.
Brother teacher, because you also apply, in the Lord's time, he'll free you from it if you be patient, as when Daniel prayed, and the angel told, your prayer was heard from the beginning, Daniel.
Right.
But Daniel kept honestly praying for 21 days, and then he came, eventually, the prayer got answered and single. So it may not be that Sabbath or the next Sabbath, but it's gonna come eventually. That's a hard question. Yeah, that's a hard question.
It is, because kind of like, definitely, man.
I understand, but you're not in the land. You're not a proprietor of your job that takes care of your family. Like you said, your kids and my kids. That's what I'm saying.
You're going to address that aspect too.
Yeah, you can't tell some new person to like walk away, or people on the internet who can walk away.
Matthew 6.
Matthew 6.
Yeah, Matthew 6.
Especially when they done worked out for you, then you try to tell somebody else to do the same thing.
Matthew 6. And let's read verse 25. Matthew 6:25. Go ahead.
Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, the body more than raiment?
There you go ahead.
Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to his stature?
Go ahead.
And why take ye thought for your raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
And I go ahead and see to show that, it says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment. We go to work for these things, especially you got family, kids, and whatnot. The Lord's telling you, man, don't stress that. And I can't think where it's at. We'll Google it. Where it says, I never seen the righteous.
Begging for bread.
Go ahead and read. So he goes into, verse 27, especially. Read that again for me. Matthew, same chapter, verse 27. Yep.
Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature?
That's a question. That's a good question. It's kind of awesome, with me. I remember I wasn't in the truth, but this is when I was having my first child, my son, and I was like, just got out of college. Like, I just dropped out for whatever reason. Like, money, I was a bad place mentally, broke as all get out. So now I'm stressing, like, how am I going to take care of this child of mine? And it's kind of on some, without dealing with the word, not at all. But in that aspect, me worrying about it didn't fix nothing. It made 10 times worse. But I got gray hair now. Go ahead and read verse 31. I'm sorry, read verse 30 again.
30? Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?
That's right.
Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we clothe? For after all these things do the Gentiles eat.
That's right.
For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
So the Father knows what you need. All things. Verse 33.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Verse 34.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
So again, we gotta get into the mind frame of, dealing in that day for that day. I think sometimes we start panicking about, 5 years later, 10 years later, 6 months later, and we might not make it to tomorrow. The very thing we've been panicking. And on top of that, it tells us, to seek the kingdom of God first, and everything else is going to be added unto that. And we just read, keep back from presumptuous sins or assuming that God knows your situation. Now let's go to Daniel. Let's read about Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Daniel 2 or 3. Yeah, Daniel 3. Daniel 3, and let's start at verse 1. Go ahead.
Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then King Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes and governors, and captains, and judges, and treasurers, and counselors, and sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes and governors and captains and judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship golden images that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
So King Nebuchadnezzar sets up this gold image, and at the sound of the instruments, everybody was to bow down and worship these instruments. Let's see what Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah are going to do. Read verse 12.
There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand?
That's right.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
So again, a few things that we can pick up from the story. So for one, we can see that they, brothers, captive land, they in Babylon, way far removed from Jerusalem, right? And now they're presented with this proposition: you gonna bow down when the music plays to this statue, I'm gonna throw you in the fire. That's what they said. It could have been along the lines of, we are in Babylon, we ain't Israel no more. No, we don't do that. Don't worry. We ain't about to answer this carefully. Do what you gotta do, toss it in. Right, keep going.
Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. The form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That's right.
Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace.
That's right.
Then those men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and the other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
So that's good here. So, again, I'm trying to think of the most wise way to do this, but at a particular time, again, at a particular time, you can no longer say, I'm a newbie at work. Like at some point, you're going to have to make a decision. What you going to do? And matter of fact, I started something else you can go to. So at this point in time, like Brother Jude was saying, where's your faith at? Like, we understand you got a job, we understand, you know, your kids you got to take care of, your family you got to take care of, but what did the Lord tell you? Don't put nobody over him either. So after being wise in the matter, of course, seek for the job, but if they holding, you know, 2, 3+ years, then it's like, okay, I might have to walk away. Let's go to, dang, I just had it too. I can't remember, I just had it just right here. I should have wrote it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Another thing, man, like once you come up under that covenant, you kind of come with your life though. Because you come up under that covenant, you vow unto the Lord, say, yes, I'm going to keep your commandments.
Right.
I'm going to keep the laws, feast days, whatever, you know. Now you done married the Lord now, so it's like, hey. Yeah, and I feel what you were saying, like, if the Lord bless you with a job, you know, he also, hey, it's about faith though, man. You know, it could be a test, you know. I sure got tested when they was telling me $3 more an hour plus 10 more hours a week. That sounded real good, you know.
Right.
Fat paycheck. But at the same time, hey, I can't do that, man.
Let's go to a few places.
So now somebody we in the faith would have been like,
Yeah, it's like you said.
my wife thought I was crazy. She was like, you crazy. You're gonna go up here and tell this man that you can't go work on this Saturday, Friday night, and he, what if he fires you? I said, hey man, hey, that's what he got to do then. I'm sorry, man.
You speak as if that's one of the foolish women.
Yeah. Yes. You speak as the foolish woman. Lot's wife. You know? Like, look at it. It is what it is. And I did it. And he respected it, actually. He was like, wow.
Let's go
He
to,
should let it all go.
let's go to Luke chapter 9. Luke 9, we're going to start at verse 24, and then we'll skip around. Go ahead. Yeah, Luke 9, verse 24.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. For whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself, or cast away?
That's right. Shoot, that's dang. Hard to bet. What's that? So, I think we put a lot of stock in our jobs. Kind of, when we think about it, is back when the Lord was our king, right? He still is, but when he was our king, fighting battles, whipping down nations and whatnot. And, you know, what did we do? We want a king like everybody else. We don't took the trust. We don't took ourselves out of God's hands, right? And it's kind of what's going on here. So whosoever shall save his life to lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. But what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? So you get the job. Assuming that God understands the situation and all that. So you got all this money, all your things taken care of, and at the end of the day, you know, mess around and lost your soul. I think Brother Julie was just saying it, like on some, what did you just say again?
Well, I mean, what part? What with the faith part? Or?
No, you just got done saying it. I was looking for the scriptures. I wouldn't.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just saying that, you know, I went to the job with knowing that there was a possibility for me to lose this job if I decline what he wanted me to do. So, but I just faith. That's all I knew. Man.
Right.
I didn't mention the scripture.
Okay, gotcha.
We talked about faith and covenant. You know,
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah,
Once you
that's
took
it.
the okay, yeah. Once you took that covenant, man, now you playing with your life for real.
Let's go to 10th chapter. Let's get down to verse 59. You know, you had some people that was looking to follow him, and from here we see that the Lord ain't gonna take excuses. Let's go ahead.
And he said unto another, Follow me.
Oh yeah.
But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go bury my father.
So the Lord said, follow him, but all right, man, let me go get my dad first. What else?
Jesus said unto him, Let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
So man, let the spiritually dead bury the physical dead.
Right.
So again, the Lord ain't about to rock with excuses. And we can see that even in Genesis when Eve was the one that got deceived, but all three of them got punishments. But Adam's on some, well, her, no, she did it. Adam got punished too. Go ahead.
And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee. But let me first go bid them farewell which are at home at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jesus said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
I mean, so once you start to work, man, like, they ain't gonna turn it back. He said, if so, that person's not fit for the kingdom. Let's go to Matthew 10. This should be the last place. I know, like, you know, as a man, as a husband, period, like, your job is to provide for your family, and you love them unconditionally, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you know, the Lord comes first. Matthew 10, and let's pick it up at verse. What's that at verse 32?
Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
That's right.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Mm-hmm.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and daughter against her mother, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
No.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
I think, you're not us in this room, but a lot of people get this notion of once you start serving God, things is going to be mad, easy, and chill. But it's telling you, the first people going to turn on you is the people in your household. I think we all can attest that.
Mhm.
Mom, I think I'm crazy. Got your dog lost my mind. Talking about some, well, you lucky Justin called you on his Sabbath day. Like, I don't have a Sabbath day. I ain't nobody. So they be out you cut. Legalist, cult eater, all whatever.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. The devil. Reading the Bible, you call it the devil.
Wow, you right now.
Keep going.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Uh-huh.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
That's right.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
So he said, man, you put your mom, father, whoever it is over the Lord, you're not worthy of it. He said you have to pick up your cross and follow him. So eventually you're going to make that tough decision. For your family looking at you like, this Negro has lost his mind or quitting his job. But at the end of the day, what's more important? So my final take on it is like being new in the word. It's as unfortunate as it is, bide your time and just try to bide your time, but be actively trying to find something else, or putting the fire on them. I'm not gonna work Sabbath, so you need to do something. And then, but you gonna season the word, like I ain't gonna say season. You got like 3, 4, 5 years in, then yeah, it's time for you to make your choice.
But there are notes and, things that, depending on where you fellowship and congregate, they can give you to not work on the Sabbath.
Right.
So, yeah, there are ways, but
Mhm.
like I said, based on your faith.
Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go to Psalms 37, read verses 23 to 25. That'll be a good week, like that too.
That is good. That's good. Psalm 37, verse 22 and 23.
Through 25.
I'm sorry,
23 through 25.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he that delighteth in his way, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. For the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
That's true. And on the flip side, from at least the human perspective, you may think you down and out, but kids, you got a roof over your head, clothes and all that, you good. And then even on the 20, it says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. he delight his way. So, man, the Lord gonna guide you. Matter of fact, go to Proverbs 3. This is one of the harder questions. Between this and, like, what do you do with a abusive husband? Those are, like, some hard questions.
Yeah, right.
Proverbs 3 and verse 5.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Mhm.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
Man, so like we can't lean to our own understanding as to like why things happen or in the context of the conversation like the job, but man, all we can really do is just look, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on thy own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So man, you know when the Lord is talking to you,
Right.
not so. That's really all I got on that. I in my right sense of mind, I'm not gonna tell somebody new in the word to up and quit, but at the same time, I'm not gonna tell them to sit and be idle either. Like you gotta be actively on it. That's my take.
Yeah, it's just like your lesson, brother, about if a brother eats vegetables and a brother eats meat, don't cause them to, don't say nothing to make them be like, offended and be like, okay, I got it. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. All praises to the Most High.
Praise the Lord. That's a good question, though.
I got a question that's online. We're gonna take an online question.
I don't think we have him, to be honest. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so Jesus came from the lineage of Adam. I'm asking a question.
Everybody came
Jesus came, you saying no, he didn't come from the lineage of Adam? Adam was
Be
the son
technical about it.
Adam was the son of God.
If you want to be technical.
Yes, sir, yes and no. It's
Right.
like, okay, so was, and that was from the tribe of Judah, so was Adam a Hebrew Israelite? Adam was not a Hebrew Israelite? No. Okay.
I'm about to say, as far as the term Hebrew, we don't even read that term until we get to Abraham.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve wasn't Hebrew, and they weren't Israelites. Okay.
Which makes me think, you know how people say, only Israel can save, so what about Noah?
Right.
And like Adam and Eve, right?
I told you the bloodline. So this Adam was the son of God.
Yeah, Enoch. Enoch proves that Enoch proves that Israel ain't was the only ones being saved because he beat us a bunch. And Israel when he's on the scene. Yeah,
That's another question. Where is Enoch?
I don't know.
That's a joke, right?
I don't know. He get to his crib, all we know.
Where Enoch is has nothing to do with your salvation.
Genesis 14:13. Genesis 14:13.
All right. So Genesis 14 and verse 13, because his nephew Lot just got taken, so they get ready to go to war and give him back. So go ahead and read verse 13 for me.
And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram, the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre,
Yep.
the Amorite brother of Eshol, the brother of Aner, and they were confederate with Abraham.
So I mean, that's the first term of Hebrew, and then we see Israelites. They don't come into play until after Exodus sometime. So if I had to give an answer, no, they're definitely not Hebrew.
So had Joseph been put into bondage by his sold into bondage before this?
But he sold the bondage before.
Yeah, his brother,
Yes.
when his brothers threw him in the hole and then they sold to the Sabaeans.
That's after.
No.
That's
That's
after.
after.
Yeah,
that's
that's
after.
because here it's Abraham. Abraham, he didn't have Isaac yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have
That's
Isaac.
way
Right,
before
so they're the
then.
progenitor of the tribe. Yeah, this is the first accounting of being a Hebrew.
Mhm.
Sometimes the question comes up on some, I guess, people by trying to be technical on some, well, wouldn't that make Ishmael, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about other people, wouldn't that make Ishmael a Hebrew? I can't read that.
Something you want to share with the class, brother Julius?
Sorry?
Something you want to share with the class?
I ain't say that.
I think you said, was, you know, your countenance changed.
Clever.
Your countenance changed, so
What I do?
your countenance, you just exposed you.
I'm just
No, no, we don't say.
Just a comment. Like you say, all Israelites are not Jews. It's from the tribe you're from. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? Like I say, he's a Hebrew. But he said that he's trying to be technical there. I don't
Not at
question
all, it's not me being technical, it's just stuff that people want to know.
You trying to
Prior
get
in
technical.
mind.
You know how I want to know it.
Not at
I've
all.
heard them try to say that Adam and them and Noah, all of them were Hebrew. I haven't heard that.
There you
before.
go.
That all
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
right.
They said they were Israelites.
Hey, thank you.
If you ask
There
my
you go.
grandma,
Are
she'll
you
say
serious?
Adam was
There you go.
seeded.
And
I
I
know-
know, and if you understand the bloodline and lineage of where Christ
Christ
came
had all
from.
nations inside of him.
And even in her sins, Rahab,
Yeah,
she was
hardly.
in the bloodline. She was a Hebrew. She was an Israelite. That's where the bloodline of Jesus came from. Rahab, her. So
You saying Rahab was an Israelite?
Rahab
She was
was
a
a.
boy. What's the
I don't
one?
think she's Israelite.
Well, what she, okay, what does the book say she was?
Once she's Amorite, I mean, once
She
she,
more
once
about
she won the,
Once she-
I don't
once she
know
won
where
the,
she was and she was
once she,
serving.
once she left Jerusalem, I mean, at
I
Jericho.
remember because like Brother Aston was saying, she came to them on some like your God.
Yeah.
So she was spiritually a Hebrew Israelite.
I think she just
Spiritually and not.
knew she wanted to get killed. So
Right.
let's go to Joshua.
What the book is Joshua?
Yeah,
Okay.
like right after Deuteronomy.
Joshua. So around to Deuteronomy. See, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because Jesus came through her lineage.
The Ruth was the more by the
No,
nose.
that was Ruth.
That was Ruth, yeah.
That was Ruth.
Oh, no.
Because Ruth was a Moabite.
She was a
Yeah.
Moabite.
And then she married Boaz,
Yeah.
which Boaz is Jesse's father. if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Is that right? Yeah. I think Boaz was Jesse's father. And then, yeah, let's read that. Let's go to,
Ruth or Joshua?
I'm gonna go to Ruth.
Okay.
Rahab the harlot.
Yeah.
Rahab.
I want to see about Rahab.
Yeah, we're gonna, we are, you turn already?
Sure.
Me and Joshua,
Yeah,
we'll
me and
do with Joshua first. So Joshua 2.
Joshua.
And let's read verse 1. Joshua 2 and 1. They getting ready to spy the land of Jericho. Good.
And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into the harlot's house, named Rahab, and lodged there.
Hold up. I think chapter 1, they was asking, like, where could they stay? And they said, they recommended Rahab. Pretty sure. Nah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going. You go ahead, bro.
And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they come to search out all the country.
So we have a distinction here. So you have like the king, and then he says, the children of Israel came in here. So automatically we got two different nations here. Go ahead. Where are you at?
Verse 4.
Verse 4. All right, go ahead.
And the woman took the two men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Where the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them in the stalks of the flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof.
Okay, go ahead.
And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up to them upon the roof. And she said unto them, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, and when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of the Jordan, and Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed.
I think at this point, like anyone who would deem themselves an Israelite, they're just not coming from Egypt. So I don't think they could have been in any other places. Go ahead.
Rahab is Boaz's mother.
Are you serious?
Go ahead.
That's the lady.
Go ahead.
Okay, now, because Jesus did came through her, don't mean that she had to be a Hebrew, because the bloodline is in the male.
Right.
Correct.
So if you take the woman, you're gonna make her Hebrew too. Then you got to get back because some of the Israelite married Egyptians, and Judah married a Canaanite woman.
Right.
So all these, and when you start getting these women's in there, then that don't change the lineage, because the seed is in the male.
I know.
So
Boaz.
so when you're talking about Rahab, was she the Hebrew? According to what we're reading here, she was an Amorite.
Right.
That's what she was. But by her coming, once they got Jericho and tore it down, she lived with the Israelites from that time on, her and family. So quite naturally, she got into the marriage of the Hebrew. So that's how Jesus came through her lineage. But don't think, you can't take the woman. That's all like the guy told me the other day. Say if your grandmother was a Jew, then you was a Jew. I asked him what he read that.
Jewish people say that.
Well, this was what I got, saying that if your grandmother was a Jew, this guy said, I had heard it before. So I asked him, I said, where you read that? That,
The Bible tells you.
What's her nationality?
she was an Amorite, talking about Rahab. According to this, that's what Jericho was.
Canaanite?
You say what now?
Amorite. When Jericho's, when that country of the Amorites.
It's Canaanite.
I thought that was, the Amorite was one of the first cities that
I think it was in
he
Canaanite.
might have been.
A prostitute of a Canaanite. So I don't know. That's a good question.
Tiberian? Nope.
No.
What we talking about?
Rahab.
Just say what
Rahab.
was Rahab? Was she an Amorite or Canaanite?
I don't think it really says, but
It's just
She was living in Jericho.
It's a prostitute of the Canaanite.
People in
city.
Jericho, when they Amorite, that's what I was asking.
Well, unfortunately, the statement was is that Jesus' lineage came through Rahab, so
Yeah.
I figured she must have been a Hebrew Israelite, knowing that she was Boaz's mother,
That's
which
it.
fathered Jesse through the lineage where Jesus came through.
you saying Rahab or you saying Ruth?
Rahab.
Rahab, not Ruth. Rahab.
Rahab.
Rahab the harlot. Rahab the
Yeah.
harlot.
She was a Canaanite woman living in Jericho.
She's not a Hebrew.
Yeah.
Just because
I
she was
do,
Boaz's
I'm
mother,
sure I'm
the
right.
man is the one that made Boaz a Hebrew.
Correct. The
Not her.
lineage goes
She
through
just
the man.
carried the lineage.
What does it
She
read?
don't have a lineage.
Where does it read that she is Boaz? Where Rahab is?
A Canaanite and a Canaanite. It said right here. That's when you're going through Google. It says a Canaanite woman living in Jericho, Rahab is a
I'm saying-
prostitute. Huh?
I'm saying like, someone said that Rahab is someone's mother. Like, what is
Oh,
Rahab?
Boaz.
Rahab is Boaz.
Boaz's mother.
Who was Jesse's grandfather and all.
Who Obed is
I'm
the
saying,
grandson.
where's that at here? I need to read that for myself.
It just say who other descendants of Rahab. Wikipedia. That's what I got it from.
I ain't rocking with. I need to.
Well, right here, we're gonna look at Matthew 1 and 5. And then they got the genealogy is Matthew 1 through 16.
Okay.
The Bible states it.
They want to see the video.
Matthew 1 through 16. Matthew 1, verses 1 through 16. Genealogy. Matthew 1. Verses 1 through 16 from Matthew 1.
Yeah, verse 5.
It'll run down.
Verse 5. It says
Yeah,
verse 5. Matthew 1. Well, they got a different name. They don't say Rahab, they say Rahab. You know, it's in Greek. They got Boaz and Rechab, and Boaz they got Obed and Ruth, and Obed they got Jesse. Yeah, verse 5.
And you can go back and reverse it to where you go way up to the reverse way up to Adam, the son of God.
Yeah. Learned something today.
Oh, but I just do what? What y'all feel like doing? What? I can't see. How much stone y'all got? You got that? How many damn is? 120 mile an hour fabric. 125 mile an hour fabric.
So y'all saying that the, what's that, Rechab, that's Rahab?
That's Rahab. Well, it's Greek. You get New
Yeah, I
Testament.
know
It's Greek.
it's different.
Yeah, it's Greek. But it's still talking about Boaz and Boaz and Rahab is Rahab. Rahab is Rahab. And Boaz is Boaz. Same people. It's in Greek.
Greek, Hebrew, and Latin. And a little Aramaic.
Yeah. Like Elijah and Elias say, but
Correct.
one in Hebrew and one in Greek.
And Isaiah.
Isaiah and Isaiah.
There you go. And Noah.
Yeah.
Noah. There's a lot of them.
A lot of them like that.
Right now, we sing our name.
What was N-O-E?
Noah. Noah. So we learning something on the way to learning something.
That's it.
Praise God. Praise God.
I'm gonna call and check on that.
Hmm?
I gotta call and check on that
Phone
one
a friend?
myself.
What was the question can you get?
Oh, no, it was actually a statement. The
Oh, okay,
statement-
okay.
That's
And,
the
and the statement turned out to be,
Could be a question. Yeah.
I'm about to holler at nigga. Don't sound right. It might be, don't sound right.
don't kick against it, bro. Don't kick
If
against
it's
it.
right, it's right.
It's right. It's
It's
right.
Don't
right,
kick
it's
against
right,
it, brother
but it
teacher.
don't sound right.
It's right though.
Don't kick against it, brother teacher.
That part is right.
It's hard to resist bricks,
It's
man.
just in Greek. Same people.
Like I said, I got no problem admitting this wrong. I'm wrong.
Same people.
Hey, brother, Nate, you busy right now? All right, question. So we're doing Q&A, and like the question of like Rahab the harlot came up, and it was like Matthew 1 and 5. So basically, the thing is that it's kind of like being stated that she's the mother of who was it?
Boaz.
Boaz.
Boaz. That don't sound right to me, but I don't know. Rahab.
Rahab the harlot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as the mother of Boaz. That ain't sound right to me.
Which is the
But
lineage of Jesus.
I got it here, Boaz, Obed, and Jesse.
yeah. I thought so. Cause even here when you look at
And Salmon, they got Boaz.
look at chapter 5, right? It's all talking about males here. Saying Salmon, we got Boaz or Rechab. Let's say if we got Boaz or Rechab, it's like a particular location or name. Saying Salmon, we got Boaz or Rechab, and Boaz we got Obed or Ruth, and Obed we got Jesse.
Yeah, I'm on the male side, yeah.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, man. I was saying, like, again, look at.
Okay, you talk about the male lineage, that's right. The male is the male lineage.
Yeah, the male lineage, but nowhere in the.
Well, I don't talk about the women, but it says that.
Nowhere in the scripture they'll say that, period. Like, nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, it makes the name it sound big, but they talking about Ray Allen Hardy. That's years way down the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's way down the line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Almost, let's see here. Boaz is father Jesse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Boaz got Obed got Jesse got David, right?
Yeah.
Right? So now when you go down to Matthew 1:17, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, right? That's 1,400 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's probably about 1,400 years. Let's see the generation. So from Abraham, David, Abraham. So after Abraham, it was probably about 400 years. After 400 years from Abraham, he first came in. So from Abraham to there, 1,400 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Israel was in captivity about 400 years, right?
Right.
So that's 1,000 years right there. And then Joshua, after Israel came out of Egypt, now 400 years, they came out, so that's about 1,000 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,000 years left today. And then that 1,000 years you got also in that after they came out of the wilderness, which wasn't too long after they came out of Egypt. So that's probably 440 years. So you probably got 960 years left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, remember Joshua came, right?
Yeah.
Because they was in the wilderness 40 years. Then Joshua came up, and Moses was there. And when Joshua was finding the land, Rahab was there. So that was probably, you probably got 959 years from that point all the way down to the day David came. So we got like 1,000 years gap, and that ain't talking about Rahab right there.
All right, thought so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get it.
I
I get it.
Yeah, I get it
it.
too.
Y'all get it?
I didn't, I think I am, but I think I am a little bit.
Yeah, look at Matthew 1:17, right?
Mm-hmm.
It said all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations.
Mhm.
That's 1,400 years, right?
Yeah.
So Abraham, when the Lord talked to him, he said, "See, you're gonna be in captivity for 400 years, right?"
Correct.
So out of 1,400 years, Israel was in captivity 400 of those years.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came out of captivity, they had about 1,000 years left till David got here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Rahab the harlot, she came around right after they came out of the wilderness. They was in the wilderness 40 years. So 400 years of captivity, 40 years in the wilderness, then they walked into the promised land. Rahab was here. So that was probably about, when Joshua was getting ready to go into the land, they couldn't have been too far to that. So my point is, it was 960, 959 years until David from that point. Rahab wasn't even around 1,000 years later
Mm-hmm.
when David came from. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, okay.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Most definitely.
Like now, 160-something years, 1,000 years, I mean, I couldn't.
Even if you had even if she lived to be 300 years old, she still would have been way too old to be.
Should have been too old now.
Yeah.
Okay, what he's saying is
It's been
before,
too far
after,
away.
it's after, what I mean, I couldn't get everything.
Basically, what he was saying was, so when you have like a time frame, it says from the generations from
Okay.
Adam unto David.
Okay.
He was saying, so like 1,000-year gap. Out of that, 400 of those 1,400 years were spent in Egyptian bondage.
Okay.
40 of them years were in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Rahab was like shortly after they left the wilderness.
Oh, okay.
So the time frame wouldn't match
It
up.
wouldn't match up, okay.
Yeah, I found something. Oh, let's go to Chronicles real quick.
Yeah, I let Chronicle with too many names, I got a headache.
Here's a lot of names though.
Good God.
So First Chronicles, and then let's start verse 11. First Chronicles, I think chapter 1. Yep, verse 11.
First chapter.
Yeah, First Chronicles 1, 11.
What is it, where we at?
First Chronicles 1, verse 11.
Okay, gotcha.
And Mizraim begat
First
Luke.
Chronicles 1, verse 11. You know, in the right place.
First Chronicles.
1, verse 11.
Yeah, that's it.
Israel.
First chapter 1 and verse 11, First Chronicles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, verse-
Abraham begot.
Israel.
My bad, chapter 2.
Chapter
I did not see this 2 right there.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just don't me now. So, First Chronicles 2, verse 11. I'm sorry, though.
We got you, bro.
Go ahead.
And Nahshon begat Salmon. And Salmon begat Boaz. And Boaz begat Obed. And Obed begat Jesse.
Yeah, so
Yeah, this is right here,
yeah, so with that, yeah, I think Rahab is just
yeah. That match up with.
a harlot at that. Yeah, sounds bad.
But Judas, yeah,
Like what?
you know, but Judas thought he was sleeping with a harlot, you know, when he was actually sleeping with, you know, so
Yeah.
the men in the camp and tried to get.
Right.
Somebody knew about Rahab in the first place. How they know how they?
Yeah.
I say she got a reputation.
How they know?
That too. That's crazy. Even in Hebrews, like way down the line, she's still known as
Rahab the
Rahab the
harlot.
harlot.
You ain't lying, I sure live.
Yeah. That show you like reputation stick with you too.
She's a prostitute, wasn't yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what? Was she a Canaanite or what actually was? A Canaanite or Amorite or what was she?
It says
They
Canada.
said Canaanite in the thing. I looked it up. A Canaanite more than living in Jericho.
We can go to Judges and see.
You never mentioned it.
I don't think it does. One place I know about Rahab is here in
That's it.
Hebrews 11.
Yep.
Joshua 2 and Joshua 6 also has a depiction of it.
I'm sorry, Joshua. I said Judges, I meant Joshua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm around with you.
It's very limited, but strong statement stickler is that she was a harlot. But that's just to say that she still had faith, you know, she was in her sins, like they say, you know, Jesus walked with you, comfort, street walker, and, you know,
They even say, you know, prostitutes, listen, harlots and
They won't get in the king
publicans.
for you.
Yeah, most sure did.
And you look at Hebrews 11, it sounds like her spot solidified.
And through her faith,
Yeah.
thank you, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know where it says
It
what
don't
she-
say, it really don't say.
They have the harlot.
You got to do about
Yeah, by faith we have the heart. Yeah, you're right. Sure do them. She might be in the kingdom, man. They mentioned it.
Well, I say it's a strong possibility.
There's a strong possibility.
You mentioned it with Moses and Abraham.
Yeah, faith chapter.
Yeah.
You brought that right there.
That's actually the spot solidified. Like the disciples,
Yeah.
just know.
Good.
Any more in-house?
and her father's house, not just her.
Yeah.
They all got up out of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
It was a good question. Y'all almost got me.
So it's actually based really, like you said, based on your faith, you know, about the job situation. You know, like you said, you don't, anybody knew, but once you've been in the world like 3 or 4 years, you should be able to be done, okay, look at him.
Like the scripture say, wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. As far as you, I mean, they ain't coming to you saying, you know, like, you're gonna get thrown in the fire, your life ain't on the line. It's not that pertinent, but I would say wait on the Lord. I wouldn't just, me, as for me and my household, I wouldn't just up jump and say, I'm gone. Give me my last check. Now I'm back out here jobless again. I understand, never seen the righteous forsaken, but you gotta be wise as a serpent, you know. But I hear the other points in the scriptures you went to, I get it. But you know, you saying that because where you are now, take you back 40 years ago, wherever you were, then would you say, dude, I went to school for this job, and they just, like I say, me, I make the money that I make on that day, and I'll pay my alms and my tithes with it, or do something with it, until the Lord frees me up from that. I'm gonna pray about it, I'm not gonna be there 15 years later.
I think with that, it's kind of, what is it? It's subjective or objective? I think it's subjective. It's kind of, every person's going to do what they do.
Based on your faith.
And I'll leave it at that. Every person's going to do what they do because your faith. It's kind of, your faith's here, you got no problem walking away. If your faith's kind of wavering, you might consider it. I don't know, I gave what I gave, like I said, it's kind of, it just depends on the person.
Yeah,
That's why I asked when you meant part-time, because when I first got to where I got a basketball coordinator job, they paid me like $10,000 worth 3 months, like chilling. I was like, okay, cool. And I started about the Sabbath, and it was like a JD taught a class on some, and you gonna sell your soul. No, so I was just up that night, like, man, what am I gonna do? I said, I'm gonna quit the job. I ended up quitting. Lost out $10,000, but then again, the Lord turned around and gave me a better job than I was already working, so.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, the scripture that say the Lord is gonna put more than you can bear. If you get in a situation like that, He gave it to you, He can take it away, He'll give you something better. Like Brother Justin said, you got something better. If you walk away and y'all gotta suffer for a little while, it ain't gonna be more than you can bear.
I understand.
You're gonna be right.
Okay, well, I'll say the pretense stuff is a person come here, they already got a job, and they hear about the word, they hear about the Sabbath only, and they're real infancy in the word. They come in and they hear us speaking all this strong, meat, and then, what, so that mean we ain't supposed to, dang. And they just say, well, I'm gonna be like these others. You can't do, I can't do what Brother Justin do, because Brother Justin ain't me. And the Lord is no respecter of persons. Where his might not be mine and where mine might not be his. Everyone got a role to play, everybody got gifts.
But I will say, even if you ain't strong, Brother Justin, in the faith, if you strong enough to make that leap, that might be a proving point for you. Some people need something to have a story to say. But I remember when God delivered me from this. That might be something that you can build your faith off of.
Right.
That might be a point. So if you just come in and you want to walk in your
You already got, yeah.
You think God gonna not bless you for trying to do what He said? You think He ain't gonna say, well, this brother right here, he ain't strong in the faith, but he trying to keep commandments. He gonna make a way for you to get out. He gonna put more than you can bear. He gonna make a way out. He gonna make a way out and give you something.
Okay.
Get something.
It's all.
It's only if you gonna
it's
take
all
that.
subjective.
You gonna take that leap.
It's all individual. What you feel as if you can take on. Don't do what you see everybody else doing just to fit in along and be part of something. It's an individual. It's an individual answer. Just answer for yourself.
I mean, it's just like I work in fast food, and like a lot of times you're required to work weekends, but at the same time, if I can't work that Saturday, I can always swap that day out with someone else. I can work their day if they're winning my day.
Right.
Like that way, I won't have to quit my job, but I can also keep my commitments.
Exactly. That's an active way of, being about your business. Yeah, definitely. I know, I was about to say, it ain't really a part of the conversation, but maybe it is. It's kind of on some, I think because we don't see what's happening, taking place, we kind of take it for granted. This ain't even about working, it's about any commandment. So let's say you woke up one day like, I'm gonna go give me a pork chop today. You pull up at Shane's Beef Shack and you see the angel standing there, that sword, you're gonna turn around, right? Exactly, same with work. Let you pull up the word, you see the angel, you're like, you know what? I got enough money for today, I'm gonna leave. It's kind of on some, that's why I say it's not part of the conversation, but it is. But again, just boiling down to it, it's subjective from person to person. And like Brother John was saying, everybody's faith is at different levels, but at some time we all gonna have to take a leap.
Right. Absolutely. Like for instance, a comment, like say, we was talking about this, matter of fact, the other day, when she's gonna be seeking for a job soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I was like, well, make sure, when you fill out the application, establish that, you're a Sabbath keeper, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Establish that first of all, if they still do hire, they would know, firsthand, what your, I won't say religious thing is, but what your lifestyle is.
Yeah, right. The funny thing is, it's kind of like, everybody they respect accommodate the Muslim, they respect accommodate 7-Day Adventist, they accommodate the Hindu, like whoever else, but for some reason we come along, ain't trying to respect it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
That is amazing.
You accommodate for any other religious fashion, but
Cause it's defilement, they stay in defilement, but when they say, okay, let's get right, no, that's gonna mess us up, we can't do that. That's to me anyway, I've been saying that to a couple of brothers. They keep you defiled and polluted, and they stay on top and benefit from that. If you do these holidays, they make billions for it, because you celebrate indulgence. And they get the lion's share, and you still filthy and polluted, and the Lord ain't gonna deal with you. I just wonder if you just put all that stuff away, not out your household, I mean like, if everyone unitedly together, you know, I wonder what that would change and what that would cause, you know. The Lord's hand would have to be, you know, he would have to do something to be seen like that great of effort and the exodus from what they put on us. That would be something. But no.
I think it's true. And go to your point, I forgot what it says, man, but when the Lord was pleased with us, like, just keep the Sabbath. Like, we as a people just did that. Man, things probably would change. I ain't saying on a Jurassic level, but things would change.
I'm saying the same thing. If you just, you know, abstain from what they intentionally spend billions of dollars on putting you through to keep you polluted, they benefit. They get billions, you get misery, and you couldn't get your son the PlayStation 4 to worship the white Jesus and all that stuff, and it's like causing misery throughout your family and household. It's like, dude, you stay polluted, they stay on top. They eat, drinking, and being married to the very end.
Right.
You know.
You ain't lying. I hate going to the stores on holiday time. Just like you go to candy bars. You got stuff with kids and Christmas trees and everybody happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, like you seem like the turd. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I don't celebrate.
Like the feast days.
It's a perpetuation of their pollution, and they benefit from it. They reap the rewards and get money for that. You get nothing but broken, sad, and in debt. And like I say, the Lord can't deal with you if you revel in that pollutedness.
Like last feast day, me and the brother Navarro went to the beach, and all day they would say, Happy Easter, Happy Easter. I'm like, oh Lord. So me and brother Boss said, we don't celebrate Easter. You know, we do the Sabbath and blah, blah, blah. And that to do with Jesus, she was like, Shaw, you don't celebrate Easter? I mean, we heard that like 4 or 5, everybody was Happy Easter. I'm like, oh God, not again. I don't celebrate Easter, man. Right. And they look at you like you're crazy. Like, what?
It's like when I was way out, I think it was Thanksgiving, and everybody got up there when they were like, Happy Thanksgiving, and I look at them like, I felt odd. Yeah. Like, cause I didn't know how to reply to it. Like, I was like, okay, yeah. All right. And I got sick of it, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna go in the room and sit down. And I just sat there on the bed. I think I wrote you like 8 letters that day. Because I was bored and I got tired of everybody telling me Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm not knowing what to say to them.
It's definitely tedious. It's kind of something like, you develop your own, I won't say a slogan, but automatically you just walk in the store, they're gonna say this, and it's like a catchphrase. You automatically got it. Merry Christmas. I don't do Christmas because and it's like you just say it so much, it's like every year the same thing. And then what was I about to say? Like I was telling Brother John, he was talking on the way up here. It's kind of awesome when you get like our great great grandparents, right? For them, they might have some leeway as far as mercy with the Lord. We all have mercy, don't get me wrong. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome, like the lack of what they didn't have at their fingertips. Exactly. They do the best of what they can. Even like our fathers, they grew up and saw like changes. As Brother Johnny had gave them a great breakdown of it. Now with us, you ain't even got a title. It's just, hey Google, what's the origin of? Hey Siri, what's the origin of? And like all this information at the access of your fingertips. I'm talking about books, articles. There's like free literature. You got so many things you got access to. You ain't gonna have like no excuse.
You ain't gonna have no excuse. And the Lord, everything was created for the Lord, and with everything the Lord was for. So, there's gonna be no excuse when you put a computer in the palm of your hand and research all this stuff, and you're gonna try to talk about, well, I was never told to show. So now you're calling me a lie. It's accounted upon the Lord to, to visit and submit. So you was given opportunity. That was time. I sent my prophets. I sent the people, and you just didn't hear it. You just didn't want to hear it.
Exactly. And the thing is, like on Facebook, on social media, you got so many people posting the word now. and a time where you saw it, you just kind of scroll by it.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see
You
it,
know
like,
what that was about?
that'll count. Like, that's gonna count. Like, I gave you the opportunity when you scroll past them postings on Facebook. So, like Brother Jude was saying, you ain't gonna be standing before the Lord on something I didn't know.
Right, right. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you think God will have, like you said, just the question like was have mercy like on our, like you said, grandparents or great grandparents, because they was kind of ignorant as far as a lot of them didn't know how to read or couldn't read. I had no access to the reading, so they had to do what Master said. Or so, like, you think God will have like a little leeway with them, you know?
We'll go to Romans 2. It's like, Romans 2, that's a really good question. I remember my grandfather, he was a preacher, but he was born like 1915. When you think about it, it ain't too far removed from slavery. And it's kind of like stuff they had to go through, but even with that, it's the best he could though.
Right.
And even you got like some people who are older, but just like genuinely like, they try to do the best they can.
Right.
Serving God with the knowledge they have.
Right.
Like Brother Nate gave a great example. He's like, man, us in this room, but us knowing the truth, we're so quick to try to put people in hell for what they don't know and do. And it's kind of like, man, you can read what the book say and what can happen, but I can't sit here and say you going to hell. Like, I know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not the judge of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can righteous judge you.
Yeah.
If you do it wrong, and sound out and try to tell you, that will cause you to go to hell
Exactly.
and stop and repent. You know,
So Romans 2, and let's pick it up at verse.
Oh, and before that, when Paul sent people to hell, as he said, the 2 people he sent to hell, that means he sent them back into the world because the world is hell. That's where Satan controls and rules. So therefore, he sent you to hell. We're supposed to be in the world, part of the world, but not of the world. So it's like when he sent you to hell, that means he throws you back in the world. You know.
So it's Romans 2, and let's read verse 11. Because Paul, he was addressing hypocrisy. You know, they was judging people who turn around and doing the same thing. So let's go to verse 11. Go ahead.
For there is no respect of persons with God. For as many have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law. And as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law.
So again, for as many as have sinned without law shall perish without law. And many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by law. And what we get into is, so there's just natural, even if you ain't read the Bible, you understand the Word of God, there's just natural things that man knows instinctively.
Right.
Like I said, let's say I never read the Bible in my life, but I know good and well, naturally, I'm not talk to your wife. Like I know that naturally. To steal, to kill, like you know these things. So based off what man knows naturally, God, He's gonna judge you off that.
Yeah.
So and He's a righteous judge. And how can I say fault somebody when for like a good period of time you couldn't read for yourself? Right? But keep going.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the means while accusing or else excusing one another.
And so again, so that natural law within his mind. So the Lord knows what they know and didn't know, and He'll judge according based off that. And I think with my grandfather, right? He's about late 70s, probably going into his 80s, but entrenched in the Sunday doctrine. And at first, when I first came into the Word, you get puffed up like, Greg, you wrong, you stop doing this.
Yeah.
But then I had to sit down and chill as I got on the Word, and I sat back and looked at it. From the time that I can remember my child, my grandfather has been the meekest, humblest, nicest person I met. He had the last dollar. Anything, a person. If I had to sit here and say who's the most person I want to be like Christian-wise, I'd probably say my grandfather. Even though he's dealing with holidays, he's dealing with like Sunday doctrine, but if all men acted like him, the world would be better. Period.
Right.
So it's kind of awesome. Like we talked about it before, it's been introduced to him. How's that going to count in judgment? I don't know. But other than that, I can't really say much about my grandfather.
Right.
Like I said, nicest, humblest, meekest man. like gives 110% serving God. If it ain't about God, he ain't fooling with it. It may be wrong, but he doing the best he can with what he got.
So that goes to the line of like the white throne judgment, you know, you might have a chance 50-50
I think so.
based on your works, you know what I mean?
I think so. Like Brother Judah was saying, all I can do for him and anybody is show him what the word says where he's erring, but I can't sit here and say, right now you going to hell.
Right,
Well,
right.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
He might mess around and tip the scales on something because you did these you were humble and meek and nice and all that.
Right.
He might mess around and get in, and I feel like not get in. Yeah, I feel like not get in.
Absolutely.
Because of them batteries you took,
Yeah, with the batteries I took, exactly.
You're
So,
dangerous.
yeah, so that
Yeah, that kind of answers my question. Yeah, that does.
I wonder about that too.
I think about like slavery, you know what I mean? A lot of us died during then, or even on the way over here.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen to them folks? I mean, they had to eat pork on the Sabbath, do all types of stuff, but they didn't know. You know?
Right.
They didn't know they was Israelites. They didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
They had been, you know, living in the region of Africa. They thought they were probably African. They didn't understand none of our customs. So what's going to happen?
So that's really, like you say, that's only God can judge that. You know what I mean? Like you say, hopefully they can, you know, some kind of. We all pray and ask for our loved ones that, you know, even us and our loved ones to get in the kingdom. Like you said, that's only God. So those answers, we don't know all of them. Only God knows the answers. You know what I mean?
I was explaining this to Brother Vincent maybe about a month ago, and then it just came back up with Brother Johnny. It's like God's grace is given to everyone, and at different levels depending on who you are and what you need.
Right.
Now, He put us in the Americas. You know we ain't got it as bad as them other ships that stopped off at them other islands, if you ever actually really looked at how bad them people got it.
Mm-hmm.
So the grace over there may be different than the grace that we need. The grace we've been given, like I say, you can put it in the palm of your hand and look up, research, and come to your own conclusions, and hopefully you study and do what thus said the Lord. Over there, they still may be, you know, chasing hogs and eating them and killing them, because that's how they got to survive, and that's how, you know, our ancestors were brought up on, eating the bottom of the barrel, scraping stuff to survive. So therefore, it's just like, you know, is the Lord going to be unrighteous and say, oh no, you get out of here because you know, they say that's like, well, like I say, my spiritual pay grade. I leave that up to God. I don't try to, like I say, I know you going, look at all them Gentiles over there. I don't know what He's going to do to them people. I don't know what He's going to do with, if you just know, regardless of whether we want to believe it or not, the Arabs and stuff, they know, because they kept a good history, and they kept good history documented and stuff. They even tell their kids. So when they look at you, they know who you are, and they want to be pricking you and see if you know or if you waking up. And a lot of these white people know because they know what they did to our ancestors. They already know, and they don't want things to change. They don't want to be the head and become the tail. They don't want to see reversal of role.
Right.
So you just got to be careful. Like I say, when you're having conversations with them, because some of them know, some of them don't, some of them just ride away of what their ancestors did. But as I say, you just got to put it all in perspective as, you know, just be concerned about your own salvation. God got this. God is all under control by God or whatever. So wherever your grandfather, your grandmother, what you care about and love, those people in other countries, it was scriptures. I'm sorry, it don't come to mind right now, but a brother did do a lesson on that, and he's explaining to us what we were talking about. Your forefathers, the grandparents, the poor people over there with no phones, the still hunting with spears and stuff like that. They still got goodness in them, you know, and their works alone won't get it, but God knows how to put you on the scale, and where you're going to come out is where you receive your wages for your life.
Matter of fact, both of y'all stories made me think about the thief on the cross. Right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, man, look, this man ain't did nothing. He said, Lord, remember me my kingdom. That's it. Show faith and humility. And the Lord said, I got you. You good.
Right. Yeah.
So,
All the stuff he did wrong. It's crazy.
exactly.
And look at his heart, though. His heart is still like, this man got nothing.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, the other thief or the murderer, he had the same opportunity.
Yeah.
He did the same exact thing. You're just like, man, he took the other, you God, get us off this cross. Right? So they both had equal opportunity, but one sees them. That's he said easy to. Was it? I don't know. Doing this don't seem easy to me. But yeah, I understand what Julie's saying. It's kind of like, and then I think we get into the thing of it's not fair that I'm putting all this work in now, and and then this person comes in at the end, gets the same thing I get.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a scripture.
I like to say,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The vineyard, the labor in the vineyard. Yeah.
All day, this money came the last hour.
You get a penny, he say, hey, that's what you got for.
Mhm.
I mean, even also with that is the prodigal son, how one of them took off the rewards of everything they worked for, lost it, and then come back and get right back in the position he was when he left. It's just like, dude, I ain't never left your side. Why not kill a fattened calf for me and stuff? Yeah. I was actually on the other son's side, like, yeah, that's right, man, because all the stuff other people got, and I'm suffering not to go through sacrificing, and it just don't seem. I don't think it's supposed to be fair, but it ain't. It don't seem fair. When somebody coming in at the last hour, I mean, you should be happy they made it, but I don't know. I guess it ain't human nature. It ain't human nature. It's like, man, I've been toiling since. It's just like another reason. Before we go to the scripture, this dear brother, you got a lot of old heads coming to the scripture and the word, and they're in their 50s and 60s. And yeah, like yourself. I mean, they done been the world, just imagine any word, from sexing to doing everything, children, and they had a whole life to live, and then the Lord stopped them in their 50s and they're like, okay, now serve me. But then you got people like myself and whoever else here is of my age, in your 20s, he said, stop and serve me. And it's just like, dude, I didn't get a chance to do everything you did, and you in your 50s and 60s, and now you're getting called. And it's like I got stopped in my 20s. I didn't even get a chance to experience or go through life or do nothing. And it just, it don't seem right, man. It don't seem right.
That's a good point too, because that's how Cephas is. Cephas, you met Cephas, right?
Oh, the young chubby dude.
Yeah, he's only
21.
21. He was 19 when he came to work.
Yeah.
21 when he got 21 when he got married. So he's kind of on some that state of mind.
Yeah, you need to really encamp around that brother and encourage him and always keep him built up and stuff, because you know the devil do be trying to get, as you know, as we come in this word, it gets a lot harder and trickier, and you got to really be real. You got to keep your mind on Christ.
I don't know if this is the right way of thinking. The way I look at it is, it's like anything else. You don't get a pat on the back for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all supposed to be living according to the law, whether we know it or not. Whether you find out at 62 or 22, you ain't finna get no extra boost for keeping the Sabbath. Everybody's supposed to do it.
Right.
That's a good point.
I know, but they got to live in the world of rival all the way up to their
I get what you're saying, though. It's kind of like,
you doing what you're supposed to do.
And the Lord didn't kill them in their sins, and you know they was out there sinning. And he didn't kill them and catch them in their sins. Like, no, I gave you 30, 40, 50 years. He called them out. It's like, he called you at 20 and just like, yes, Lord, I'm here, Lord, and you answered, and now you here. And
hey, Julius had a comment.
I came in the truth at 36, you know, and I just say, look, man, be glad that them, like them brothers that was 20, 19, 20 years old coming in, they lucky really though. They get us to go through what. Man, you know how much garbage and crap I could have just been out of there, you know what I'm saying? I'm lucky that I'm
didn't
glad
die in
to
your
be
sins.
alive.
Yeah, you didn't die in your sins. Yeah,
Yeah, but I know some cats didn't make it though.
Oh yeah, we all got
You
it.
know
That's
what
the
I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't shoot them for lucky.
That's funny. Like,
Yeah.
I see your point, and I see both y'all.
See both the points.
I do. They're both very solid points. They're on like Judah's point is kind of on some. Me at 30, but coming in at like 27, 28, it's kind of like I was on the peak. I was in the prime.
just starting.
I was in my prime. I had stuff I need to do.
Yeah, just
I think
starting.
about brothers that's been out there, man. I was out there 11, 12 years old. I'm 36 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been out, you know what I'm saying? I've been jumped off the post, man.
You wasn't homeless and
I wasn't homeless, but I was out there in the street,
Yeah.
And then they go back to Julius' point. It was kind of also.
Yeah, you wasn't.
Man, you crazy, man.
Yeah, now at 20 years old,
Right.
I found the word.
Before, bro, man.
But now I get to avoid all the thing. I think the issue is like we get so wrapped up in what like the worldly view of it. Like as a man, you're told to graduate high school, go out there, test the waters.
Yes, so your oats.
Shallow, medium, deep. You test the waters, do it, drink it all, smoke it all, do any and everything. Once you're ready to settle down, do it. And if you don't do that, you looked at like life unfulfilled. So it's kind of like Johnny was saying, that ain't supposed to be the case anyway.
Right.
True.
So it's kind of, but once you do it, kind of like about it. Think about when Jim got married, right? He waited 7 years for Rachel. He was cool. That's hard for us because we used to start in at 16, early as 12 sometimes, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now I gotta wait 7 years for something I've been getting 8, 7, like not 6, 7, 8 years now. I ain't about to do that. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like from a worldly view, we are missing out. But from the biblical view, we are actually in a really good position.
Absolutely.
Another thing, the earlier you start, you ain't got all them vices to take. Like when you
See what I'm saying?
you've been in the world for about 40 years and you come into the word, and now it's like everything cold turkey. And you 19 and you ain't never had none of, you ain't never done none of that.
And that's why I
It's
say
easy to
lucky.
make that transition.
That's why I
When you
say
want-
No regrets. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, we ain't saying that.
You see 50, 60-year-old just jumping
They
in,
cold
and you be like,
turkey.
dude, you got to live and do all this stuff. And but you said there's been vices, drugs, all that stuff, jail, who knows what they did. But the Lord absolves you of all your sins and don't recall.
It's
Yeah.
not.
I don't know what to do.
But you know-
That was never my lifestyle. I wouldn't know what to do. I never smoked. I never drunk. I never was, with the females hard, whatever. So I wouldn't know what to do. It wasn't anything that I think I'm missing.
Right.
But you know, the older you
I'm
get,
just saying, stealing batteries from the store.
We got some wisdom coming forth.
the older you get, it's more harder for you to convert. So the younger you get, to start out, you grow into it. But when you've been doing all this different stuff for all years, because I came in about 6 years ago. I was in my 70s. Now, you look back, I look back on the same thing when I first started seeking the Lord. When I started going to church and stuff like that. Well, my prayer was to the Lord to guide me in the way that I need to go. Because see, you've been out there, and I ain't talking about just a worldly thing, but you done heard all this garbage from all these different ministers, all these different churches. So it's harder. I talk to a lot of people my age now. That's really my desire, to try to talk to people that's my age or a little young, and try to get them to see the truth. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy. And they look at you, and some of them stop talking to you. But you would take a younger person that haven't been fed all of this garbage. You can bring him in and teach him about the truth. You can line him up on the truth. See, when you're talking about the advantage, no, it's no advantage when you get old. It's harder. Because it's harder for you to say, man, I've been doing this for years. You gonna come and tell me?
Absolutely right.
There's a saying too, it's easier to teach a child than it is
To
to
teach that
Old dogs.
their imagination is
Wine
better.
and new bottles.
Yeah.
New wine and old bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their imagination, a child's imagination is different.
Like brother, I'm not old as you, but I'm 56, so that's a nice little round figure. But hey, I understand what he's saying. Now, my case, I did everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Good thing God didn't give me my sin. But like you said, the older people are stuck in their ways.
Yeah, they ain't changed.
Just like you said, I've been doing this for you. You weren't even born and all this. I done heard all this from even friends. Well, I done preached for 35, 40 years, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but it's hard to convert. It's harder to convert them. Because for one thing, the pride level. Especially if you're a preacher or something, you got a little title.
Yeah.
God knows, that's that pride. But I was one of those that had desire to learn and not be a false prophet, right? Which I was at the time in ignorance, you know what I mean? But once I know the truth, I humble myself immediately. A lot of people don't do that. I maybe just one of the few might do that. But
Yeah,
a lot of preachers that come out, the preacher, shoot, they ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, be
I had a preacher to close the Bible on me.
They
And
don't
I
do
would-
that.
I would read to him, and the really one that deep of a substance, it was just about the Trinity. And your First John,
Yeah.
And we read it, and he read it here, and then I told him, I said, if you just read down a little bit more, brother, you'll find out what it was. I said, yes, I could take you somewhere else. He said, I done closed my Bible and I ain't talking no more. And then he said, do you really know what being made quicker needle? I said, throw this up, man. And that was it. There's a preacher that got a church. Me and him been friends for a long time. But he got that upset with me that he closed his Bible. He said, I ain't talking no more. I closed my Bible. And do you really know what quicker means? I said, brother, ain't something. Just, you don't wonder what I said. You know, it's okay.
What was the meaning? What was the trying to say?
Do I really know what make a lie? It's like, yes, I don't know.
Quicken?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what he was hitting me with.
I thought he was threatening.
Well, no, he was just letting me know is that you trying to tell me something other. Do you even know what quicker means?
Oh, I see.
That's what I took. That's the way I took it. That's the way I took it.
Oh, I thought you like you stopped my
And
word.
I said, well, okay, brother. I said, you know, no hard feelings. And he hung the phone up.
And someone gets thumbed down mad with you now.
Well, he did. He did. Because, you know, I've been preaching in church for 30 years. Then you got somebody coming around and tell you for 30 years you've been preaching the wrong message. Because all of them, see, all of them ain't, listen, all preachers, because I would warn myself, all preachers is not out there just to get money. They really want to talk to people. But you've been taught the Roman Catholic gospel, that's what you're going to teach. Now, when I read something in the Bible and I don't understand, I come here and ask questions, else I started searching in the Bible. But before, I got me a commentary. Because I read what this man interprets. I don't know what any of you know what a commentary is. But it's a book just like the Bible. They go verse, but it tells you what that verse is supposed to mean. But it's not true because, you know,
A commentary is a man's knowledge based on
That's
what he
man's knowledge based on
what that means. Like some Bibles got commentary Bibles. At the beginning of the chapter, they have like commentaries on top. They explain the history and what will happen in that time and the ages and stuff. So like some must be like man's knowledge. You can't really get stuck with the commentaries because the commentaries will throw you off.
Yeah, because they man idea of what the Bible saying. That's what it is, and when that's what you preach, because this is what you've been taught all your life. And you know, I talk to people right now about going to heaven. In fact, my ex-wife told me, she said, "You mean to tell me my friend ain't saved?" I said, "I don't know whether your friend's saved or not. That's not my job. I'm just telling you that she's not in heaven." And this, I mean, she almost broke down on me. And a couple of things she did. One time she stopped completely talking to me because she my age, and she, 6, 7 years younger than me. But even I was her husband, and I'm going to take her this stuff. And even today, if I said something about the Bible, she talking to me. In fact, the other day, we were talking to me, and she was telling me about some friend. And I said, yeah, and I quoted something in the Bible, and she got quiet. She would not discuss, because I know where it don't come from. It's a pastor. He done told her when I mention something in the Bible, not even discuss it with me.
Wow.
And that's what she's doing. We can open and talk good things all day and bring something in the Bible.
We can steal some batteries.
Alright, go ahead and close
Hey, we don't want.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done in earth,
thy will be done in earth,
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread,
And forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive
forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel.
King of kings.
King of kings.
And Lord of lords.
Lord of lords.
The one true God.
The one true God.
There is no other.
There is no other.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. That's what's up.